How's it going, everybody? This is Johnny Parker from That Hashtag Show with another comic book review for you. Today I'm reviewing Go-Go Power Rangers number 11, written by Ryan Parrott and illustrated by Dan Mora. So, last time we read Go-Go, Kimberly from our time period was the miss of battling the evil Ranger Slayer from the future. And so, as we start today's issue, we actually start back in the alternate timeline of the future. In the future, we see Kim, and again with Bulk, going around saving people and whatnot. And in one of the hospitals they're saving, they run into Kim's old boyfriend, Matthew, who is heavily injured and sadly enough dies. This last death kind of sends Kim over the edge. So she decides to go off by herself to go and kill Lord Draken. Now, this is where we end in the past. Now we shift back to the present, where Kimberly, our Kimberly, is fighting the Ranger assassin from the future. Now, back in the command center, sadly enough, Kimberly is taking some L's. The Ranger assassin is giving her that work. She's more trained, she's more well prepared, and her bow staff is pretty bad A. And not only that though, but she's also commanding the Zord while she's fighting Kimberly. So we cut back to the outside, and her Grave Zord is just taking out the Zords left and right. She's over there crushing the Mastodon, and she just stabbed Jason's Tyrannosaurus Rex right through the chest. And so when it looks like the Power Rangers are about to lose, we cut back to the command center, and luckily enough, our Kimberly manages to flip a switch that sends a big energy wave throughout the command center, and it fries evil Kimberly. But what's crazy enough, it snaps her bow staff in half, but also kind of snaps her mind back together. And so all of a sudden, she starts to remember who she actually is. Zordon explains to the Rangers that he's seen this kind of mind control before, and I mean, so have we. There was a whole, again, first 5 episodes of Power Rangers where we saw Tommy being controlled when he first got the Green Ranger powers. So it's not surprising that now Lord Draken is employing the same technique on other people. Now that the battle's been won, Zordon explains to the Rangers that they can't ask the Ranger Slayer any questions about the future for fear they'll mess with their timeline. And he also is not sure which reality she's actually from. So the Rangers return back to their regular lives, and the evil Ranger Slayer is just hanging around the command center. At one point, Kimberly decides to come pay her a visit and ask her some questions about, again, her own future. She wants to know if her parents are actually going to get a divorce. I really like this a lot. Ryan Parrott's doing a great job here of looking further into the Rangers' backgrounds and not just looking at them as just these teenage heroes with attitudes, but also looking at them as actual genuine people who have life struggles and whatnot. And so the Ranger Slayer gives Kim some advice not to really worry about it and give her some solace that things will kind of work out. But while they're in there, they decide to go off to the juice bar to go hang out. And we get a nice little cool montage sequence of evil Kimberly from the future hanging out in the juice bar, giving Bulk a hug because, again, she misses her future version of Bulk. She's drinking 7 milkshakes and everything like that. And even though Kimberly's still worried, she kind of tells her, you know what? Sometimes you just got to appreciate the small moments of life, those in-between moments where you get a chance to relax and just be yourself and be with your friends. Now, while all this is going on, Rita is busy at work constructing a new monster with Fencer's help. And it looks like she's plotting some new scheme to attack the Rangers with. Now, I also have to give some credit for Ryan Parrott for this as well. He's writing an awesome Rita Repulsa. We're used to always getting this cackling, buffoon type Rita, which is make my monster grow and Rangers. But right here, we're getting a very smart Rita. We're getting a Rita that's sinister, that's plotting, and that's also patient as well. And so she's not trying to rush anything. She knows she has the advantage right now with the Ranger Slayer being there, and the Ranger's not worried about her. So she's really taking her time to plot up a good scenario and coming with a plan to take them down. Now, when we go back to the juice bar, we see that evil Kimberly from the future is having a great day, but at one point she runs into Matthew. Now, this is important because, remember, her future version of Matthew died, and that was what sent her over the edge. And so when she sees him again, she gets a little PTSD, and she has to run away to catch her breath. While she's in the alleyway relaxing, guess who shows up? Lord Draken. He opens a vision portal where he's not actually there, but he can see her, and they have a little conversation. But in that conversation, he realizes that she's no longer under his control. So instead of trying to get rid of her, he's you know what? You're no threat to me anyway. And it's if you were, I would destroy you in a heartbeat. And he closes off the portal. This kind of renews Kimberly's mission to take down Lord Draken. And so after that, she returns to the command center and start working on something. But Billy happens to walk in, discover what she's up to, and worry that Billy may interfere with her plans. She attacks Billy and knocks him out. And that's where her issue ends. So all in all, if I had to rate this issue, I would give it 4 out of 5 stars. This was an awesome issue. One, Ryan Parrott's storytelling is really building up well. We're getting all these honest, true moments from the Rangers. The storyline is really interesting to see how this is all going to turn out with this evil version of Kimberly from the future. And now even though she's good, she's still working on something to get towards killing Lord Draken. And so she's obviously doing something she's not supposed to be doing. So that makes me interested to come back and read the next issue. In addition to that, Dan Mora's art is amazing. I gotta say, he really captures the Rangers well. Instead of looking at old stock footage and trying to draw Billy like the way David Yost actually looks, he just kind of draws like a younger version of Billy and with his own art style. And so all the Rangers look unique and amazing, and they still look like the Rangers we know and love. 2, his Zords are so awesome. After reading this latest issue, I kind of get the feeling that Dan Mora is a Transformers fan because he's really, really good at drawing robots. But that's the crazy thing about it. Dan Mora is good at drawing a lot of things. In this issue, you see him draw Zords, you see him draw people, you see him draw evil witches, you see him draw monsters. The man is multi-talented, which is a hard thing to do as an artist. A lot of time, artists are usually good at maybe 1 or 2 things, and that's why they try to stick to a certain genre. But Dan Mora has shown himself to be very flexible and can adapt to any situation or story. Not only that, but he can also draw action sequences really well. The action sequences in this issue where the Zords are fighting each other are phenomenal. So shout out to the writing team and shout out to the art team on this book. They put out another great issue of Go-Go, so I highly recommend you go read it. Okay, now it's time for some reading recommendations. After reading this latest issue and seeing how Kimberly's still dealing with these real life issues of her parents' divorce and whatnot, it started making me think about what are some great comics out there where we don't necessarily have giant monsters, or we don't have people morphing, or people sticking to walls. What are just some honest, good comics that kind of show everyday struggles? In the comics world, we call these slice of life comics. And honestly, for this week, my recommendation would be Giant Days. Giant Days is an awesome comic written by John Allison with art by Max Sarin and Lisa Trimman. It tells the story of these 3 girls living in a residence hall in college and all the different adventures they go through. Now, what's really cool about the series is that it deals with real life issues, from things like dating to how do you be a good friend to how to survive school, but it also deals with deeper storylines as well. Recently, one of the characters, won't spoil anything, recently came out of the closet and had to figure out if she liked girls or not. And so it was a really cool moment. It was really powerful. It's something that you don't normally see in comics. Now, lastly, the artwork for this series is amazing. What's really cool is the characters were designed by a Disney animator. And so when you think about Disney, you think about the Disney princesses. She really brings that to these characters. Each character in their own right is a Disney princess. Not in the sense that they're actually Disney princesses, but they're designed to look as such. And it's really cool to see a Disney princess in everyday clothes. And so it's awesome to see this art. So I highly suggest you go and check out the series. It's really beautiful. It's really well written. And you can pick it up at your local comic shop, or you can pick it up at bookstores as well. Now, a friend of mine gave me the first trade. I would highly recommend reading that because you kind of want to get through the first storyline to get a real vibe for where this story is going. So remember, it's put out monthly through Boom Studios, or you can just go and buy the first trade and check out the series. So if you do, please let me know what you think. So that's been another comic book review for you. I'm Johnny Parker from That Hashtag Show. You can follow me at JohnnyP313 on Instagram and Twitter. And also, if you're at San Diego Comic-Con, I'll be at Small Press N14. Stop on by. I'll be selling copies of my comic book Broken, as well as my comics Blackface and Brown Hand, Teen Horror, and Elvish. So if you're at San Diego Comic-Con, come on by. Again, I'll be at N14. I'd love to see everybody, chat it up, talk comics, talk anime, talk all a bunch of cool stuff. And again, remember, keep coming back to That Hashtag Show for everything trending in geek pop culture.